Okay, we should be live. Yes, great. And I see we've got a few people joining us already. Welcome. It's good to see everyone. It's morning for me, so I don't know about you guys, but if you want to introduce yourselves in the chat and let us know where you're coming from and where you're listening in from, we'd love to just kind of see everyone from their different communities and regions and say hello. Well, actually, I should say my name's Megan first. I'm the Senior PR and Media Network Lead at Impact Travel Alliance. If you have any questions, there is live captions turned on if you want to do that. So let us know if you have any issues, but it should just be showing up in the left corner of your screen. And also we are recording. And this is being recorded, so you guys will get a copy of it after. We'll make sure that you are able to see. But I'll just introduce ITA really quick for those of you who aren't already familiar. Impact Travel Alliance is a nonprofit and the world's largest global community for socially and eco-conscious travelers. Our goal is to improve the world through travel. And we do that in a way that helps travelers learn how to explore the world through their experiences that have a positive impact, whether it's on local community, culture, wildlife, and environment. ITA is a global platform and community, like I said. We really want to raise up local voices. And so this event is produced by one of our community members, Hannelore Akkermans, and I'm so sorry, I know I didn't get the last name perfect, but she is a coordinator at ViaVia Tourism Academy, and I will let you take it from here.
Thank you, Megan, and welcome everyone that's joining us, and so exciting to see where everyone's watching from. Very excited to host this event today and to get this opportunity and to work together with Impact Travel Alliance. We're here with a few ladies today. We're actually spanning 3 continents with the whole team that we've been preparing this with. So that's quite exciting. You see here as our speakers, Bijeta Pradhan from Nepal, Sri Mujiyati or Uji from Indonesia, and my colleague Marie Azimonti from Italy is here as well. And I will share a little bit of visuals with you to support my story before we start. So this is our team, as you can see, and all the countries we're coming from. A very happy screenshot, and we're even happier today to be here with all of you. And I'm really excited to hear the stories of Bijeta and of Uji. But first, I will tell a little story myself on why I am hosting this event and why what my story is there. So I am indeed, as Megan said, Hannelore Akkermans from Belgium, Antwerp, Belgium. And I am a project manager and the coordinator of the nonprofit ViaVia Tourism Academy, where I work around sustainable tourism and social entrepreneurship. I do a lot of projects on that, campaigns, research, collaborations internationally to facilitate the transformation to a more sustainable future for tourism. So that's quite a very similar goal than ITA, Impact Travel Alliance, has, but I work mostly with professionals and with entrepreneurs in the tourism industry. But today, of course, we will be talking to all of you who are mostly travelers. So we will talk what you can do and how you can contribute as a traveler too. And my love for tourism, of course, came about for the same reasons, because I love traveling myself. And I love meeting people from around the world. I love having conversations, getting to know a country, understanding the culture. As you can see here, having a really nice talk with a young man in Uganda. And it was only in my job that I started realizing that I usually talk to men The guides are men, the drivers are men, the owners of the accommodation are men. The people that I really got into deep conversations with about the culture, about issues, about the politics were men. And then I started missing this female perspective, and I see the two ladies of the speakers like really agreeing with me here. I missed the female perspective because I know, also being a woman, that it can be a very different story that you tell about a place where you live, being a woman or being a man. So I started really being more conscious about that, looking for female-owned businesses to request female guides, which is not always so easy. And these encounters really transformed me. And I got invited into the backstage, into the kitchens of the house, into really the women's communities around the world. And I learned so much from them. And I learned mostly something about myself, that I actually had not been a feminist for the first 30 years of my life, because I felt like I didn't have to. I felt like I had all the freedom I wanted. I could say whatever I wanted. And then meeting a lot of women around the world that are very strong and have very strong opinions and visions, but not always getting the opportunities in their context to do whatever they want. So this really made me quite a feminist and made me quite passionate about this topic and working with women around the world. And for me, the highlight of that was, for example, when I traveled with my mom, as you can see here, and I'm sure we look a lot alike, so you can tell it's my mother. We were traveling in Morocco, and I was really conscious about doing almost all of our activities and accommodations with women. And here we did a very nice cooking workshop in Marrakesh with the organization Amal. So I didn't only want to keep doing that in my travels, but also professionally in my organization, where I started last year this project Women with Impact, which was a storytelling project, a research project, and working together with schools and universities to raise awareness about this topic. And it was really great because it was a lockdown here, and I was gathering all these stories from all these women around the world, meeting my friends here in Nepal and Indonesia as well. So I felt like I got to travel around this whole time that I was actually at home, connecting with these women from all around the world. And with this project, we really wanted to raise awareness about the Sustainable Development Goals, especially SDG 5 on gender equality. And it was a project funded by the European Union to do that. And we wanted to make the link with social entrepreneurship, because we really believe that entrepreneurs can be a driver for change in communities. They can really push their communities further, and especially women, showing a lot of resilience, showing a lot of inclusivity in their work, and doing a lot on a local level, having a big impact on their local communities. And one of the women from Rwanda that I talked with really said this very nicely: we need more women in our business because it can really be a tool for empowerment, and it's the women that will be strengthening our country and that will save the families, because they think about the needs of others also, and not only about their own needs and about the next generation. So that really inspired me, together with a lot of other women, of whom a few you see here, from Indonesia, Morocco, the UK, also from Belgium. I spoke to women from Iran, Rwanda, Uganda, Nepal, and more. And one of these was, for example, Uji from the ViaVia Travelers Café in Indonesia. And we've been working together as organizations for a long time. You also hear it, it's a very similar name. This is a network of social enterprises that started in Belgium, but spread soon around the world. And that was already more than 25 years ago. And now we have 16 travelers cafes, which are social enterprises around the world. really contributing to local development of the destination, or working inclusive, as you will hear also the story of Uji. But just wanted to let you know that this is really a network globally, and you can maybe check if you want for your next trip, whenever that's going to be, to look at your destination and check if there's a ViaVia cafe there, and you can go to the website viavia.world to check that. So we're all really here as a global community working together from 3 continents to use tourism as a force for good. And I think all of us that are here, and probably also you that are watching, all agree with this potential that is in tourism, and what we can do together. And one of the ladies that I talked to in the Women with Impact project was Zina Benchik, who is an important lady from Intrepid Travel, which is a big tour operator, doing important work for female guides in Morocco, in North Africa and the Middle East. And she said that she really believes that tourism can be the industry, the sector that changes the gender inequality issue. If there's one sector where it can happen, it's this one, she said. And from that positivity, I want to open today's event. And we know, of course, that with this pandemic and this current crisis, it's been hitting tourism very hard. It's been unprecedented hard times, and especially women and other more vulnerable groups are paying the price, and the inequality is increasing. But still, coming from quotes, from ideas like this, from the stories we will hear, I really believe that there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of good work that's been done. And amidst of this sometimes negativity that we find ourselves in these days, we can all use some uplifting stories, and also some daydreaming to more exotic places with nice experiences that the 2 ladies will tell us about. So I think that's basically it for me. I am just your humble host today, and then I will rather give the word to my other speakers. But if you're inspired by the work that I do, or do you want to share an inspiring story, or connect me with some women with impact, please feel free to contact me on this email address after the event. So let's hear from Bijeta now in Nepal. I got to know Sasane Sisterhood Trekking about a year ago, and I was completely blown away by their project, and I'm very happy to share that story with you. Bijeta, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Hannelore. Hello, everyone. Namaste. Good evening. Good morning. I'm Bijeta Pradhan from Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel. And I've been working in Sasane from almost now 2 years. I joined Sasane in 2019 July. So it's been really a pleasure to work with all lovely sisters. They're really humble, sweet, and to be able to work in Sasane and contribute, at least in a small part, to a social cause. I'm really glad that I could contribute my part. So and thank you, Impact Travel Alliance, for giving us the opportunity to share our story. So from all the data I have from 2 years and from 13 years, it's been almost 13 years since Sasane existed to combat the human trafficking issues and in this gender violence, to eliminate the gender violence in the society. So I've put up this presentation just to, I'm going to share my screen now. So yes, Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel was established by one of the human trafficking survivor, who was trained from the NGO called Samrakshak Samuha Nepal, which is full form of Sasane. Actually, it's an NGO, and it is where the NGO helps the human trafficking survivors to empower themselves. All those rescued survivors get trainings and employment through Sasane, Samrakshak Samuha Nepal. And the idea of Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel came from Samrakshak Samuha, the NGO. It's an umbrella organization where this trekking and travel was formed. So to tell you about a little bit of Nepal, Nepal is really small country, really small country. It has population of about 28 million in a recent survey. So and it is land of thousands of temples. It has snow-capped mountains. 8 of the highest mountains is here in Nepal. So it has exciting routes, and half of the population of Nepal is women. But still, it is even you can see the data. It's for the population, majority of population is female, but still it is a male-dominating country. Freedom, we don't get too much freedom here. Even in urban area, you don't get too much freedom for women here. So there are major issues here, major issues of gender violence here in Nepal, and the most common gender issues are child marriage and domestic violence. And domestic violence is very common in Nepal, in Kathmandu even. So mental and physical abuse are the common issues. You can hear every now and then those issues here in Nepal and urban area, as well as in communities, rural communities. But the most heinous crime and the most highest crime in the rural areas is human trafficking. And according to the data, 15,000 women and 5,000 girls were trafficked in 2018 for sex trade, forced labor, and domestic servitude. Most of them were from the mountain village. They were mountain village girls who were really poor, and they were promised for better life, and they were lured in fake marriages. So they were sold. It's open border. The main problem is we have open border, so one can easily take girls and women through the border to sell them. So it's really hard to control the human trafficking issues here. And the Sasane is trying to combat human trafficking and empower women survivor. So in 2008, the Sasane and the NGO was established to give the easy access to the human trafficking survivors, women survivors, through paralegal training. Whoever are qualified to get the paralegal training, they get the paralegal training where they can they know their human rights, and they even help others to get the justice through the paralegal training. They do the FIR in they do the certified paralegal will get to can do the FIR first report in investigation of women. And the NGO also was involved in different community outreach program, and even Sasane has been doing the school awareness program, where you can see the school awareness program being held in International Human Rights Day in a very rural village of Kangfedi. The women will got the opportunity to speak about how the problem they've been facing, and the children's got the opportunity to know about what the human right is, and what are the rights, what are the child rights, and how the traffickers, traffickers use the techniques to do the human trafficking in this rural mountain village. So these are the steps that NGO has been taking to eliminate human trafficking. And then whoever did not qualify to do the paralegal training program, and if they are interested to do the trekking, to do the trekking guide training, they get to do it in trekking and travel company. So it all started when with Sasane Sisterhood, Sisterhood of Survivor program, where the sisters got to learn hospitality training, who are not qualified for paralegal training, because for paralegal training they have to have their citizenship, they have to clear their higher secondary schooling. So those who are failed to do so, they're not interested in doing paralegal, they get to train in trekking trekking and tour guide training. So and hospitality training. And in Sisterhood of Survivor, they in program, the sisters who are survivors and who are at risk of getting trafficked from the rural mountain village, they get to train in hospitality sector, and they started this cooking classes, where they teach momo lessons, momo cooking, momo making classes for travelers. And they acted it is like tour stop for the travelers. And after that, the NGO NGO started, Samrakshak Samuh Nepal Sasane started this Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel, where sisters from rural mountain village, vulnerable areas get their trekking guide training, and they get certified. After they get certified, they get to take the travelers in rural mountain villages where they belong. And we have even developed the unique treks to the rural mountain village, which are very lesser known areas of tourist destinations, because we believe with the tourism industry, the rural community can be, can be economically sustained with the sustainable development in rural areas. The woman can be empowered in the rural areas. So our sisters, our trekking guides, take them to those rural mountain villages for different volunteering programs. And whoever wants to volunteer in this rural area, they get to trek along with our sisters in the unique treks. And we also do the adventure trek, also popular treks to EBC, ABC, Everest Base Camp, Annapurna Base Camp, and other popular trekking guide. But we prioritize this volume trekking, because this is why we established Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel. So the travelers get the cultural immersion experience. We have this jungle walk also in our itineraries, so that they not only get to travel with our sisters in rural community, they also get to know the nature and culture of Nepal. So after that, the homestay was established in 2019, where Sisterhood of Survivors program was also incorporated in homestay. And we've also done community rural training program in handicraft making program in rural mountain villages. And we sell those handicrafts in the cooking classes, where travelers would love to buy those handicrafts and help empower our sisters in the villages. And Sasane Sisterhood Trekking and Travel has been also helping build different community homestays in rural areas like Kangfedi, Mudi. There are two very well running homestays community homestays in Kangfedi right now. And as you can see here, we have also tried to, we have financially helped to build this Mudi village. And It is owned by one of the survivors who we also trained as trekking guide. And we have also been doing the hospitality training in different homestays in rural villages, rural mountain villages. So the travelers would get the quality homestays even in the rural areas. So they would also like to come, so most of the travelers don't want to go to the unique, lesser known destinations, because they don't know how the accommodation will be, how the homestays will be, how the food will be. So that's why we've been trying to help empower the sisters, woman-owned homestays in rural mountain villages, so they know the quality, the standard they should maintain for the homestays. So to be able to welcome the travelers. So the highlight of our tours, trekking and tours, is our golden trekking. Actually, we do the popular trekking as well as we do the unique trek, lesser known destination, but we prefer to do most of the trekking is volunteer trekking, where volunteers get to trek with our sisters in rural mountain villages, and they do the volunteers in education sector or health sector, and they also get to know the culture in the community of the community. So the destination we choose for the lesser known destination is, we have 4 steps to choose from, this to choose the vulnerable community and to choose the vulnerable girls who we give the opportunities, is to find out the vulnerable districts from where the Sasane, the NGO rescues the and trains the survivors. And then the communities from the district, we shortlist the communities from the district and the families from the communities, and then we shortlist the vulnerable girls who are at risk of getting trafficked and who are survivors. Most of the survivors belong. So we have developed 7 tourist destination in those communities till now, and we have been trying to develop more trekking routes in those areas, but due to this COVID crisis, we're not able to do the sample trekking to other lesser known destination right now. So till now we have done 7. We have completed the sample trekking of 7 community destination, and all the funds that we have raised from Samrakshak Samuha Nepal and from homestay, from trekking and travel, we reinvest to train more girls. 25% of those fund to train the trekking guides. It's almost like 10. We try to train at least 10 survivors and women and girls who are at risk of getting trafficked and who suffer gender-based violence, to do the trekking and tour guides training. And 35% of our fund goes to improve our services, and train our sisters to do online, for English language classes and other European, German language classes and Spanish language classes. We're running those. We're funding those classes for our guides, and then 20% of and 20% of the profit from the for-profit organization goes to Sasane Fund, where Sasane does the paralegal training program and School for Justice program, where they give scholarship to the deserving women and girls from the mountain village, and 20% goes to the community development for developing infrastructure and in education sector, health sector, in the community where our homestays are right now. So we have the targets. We mostly target our women travelers, obviously, we try to target our women travelers, women solo travelers. We give the priorities for women solo travelers because all of our guides are female, so I think they will feel safer to travel with women. And then the second priority we have is volunteers who would like to explore Nepal and also volunteer, and the families and university students, so that they get to know our organization Nepal and our work. And the impact till now we have is as I told you already, in 2008 Samrakshak Samuha Nepal Sasane was established, and till now Samrakshak Samuha Nepal has trained 418 paralegals, and 45 of them are studying paralegal training program right now, and 17 and currently 17 girls are doing their higher secondary school education, and 4 girls are doing their secondary education, and they're staying at Sasane hostel, and all expenses are being paid from Sasane. And in 2013, Sasane Sisterhood of Survivors program was conducted, which was recognized by UNWTO, and Planetera organization has also helped us start this program, the cooking classes and handicraft training program. After that, G Adventure, Planetera's company, G Adventure, was helping us send the travelers in Sasane for cooking classes till the COVID crisis. And in 2016, Trekking and Travel established.
Bijeta, sorry to interrupt you. Could we wrap up this introduction
okay, sure,
so we have
sure.
enough time to hear everyone and to have a bit of
Okay.
discussion? Thank you.
I think I'm so sorry to taking long time. So yeah, so we have also established the homestays, and we're doing the accommodation also, cooking classes, hospitality training, and cookbooks was prepared by our sisters. And we're trying to find the alternative source of income right now. So we're doing the online classes, and we're selling handicrafts online. So yes, we're just trying to cope up with this COVID crisis right now. So hopefully it will end soon. And yeah, I think I've took too much time of yours. I'm so sorry, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Bijeta. Super interesting. Thank you, and sorry to interrupt you for a moment, but
No, it's okay,
you know how
sorry.
this goes, where we have 1 hour
sure.
and we want to get.
So sorry.
No, there's no apologies needed. It's great. You answered, I think, a lot of the questions we maybe already had. So it was amazing to see both the way you started, the way you work, the impact you have, the financial model. I think this financial model made it also very clear what it means to be a social enterprise, where you get revenue and then you invest it in different social aspects and social issues. So very clear and very interesting. And what I take also from what you said is that you target a lot of female travelers, because the guides would feel more at ease with female travelers. And I really like that way of thinking, because I was thinking the other way around. There's more and more solo women traveling, and maybe they want a female guide so they feel safe. But I really liked how you said it the other way around, that the guides like to travel more with women. And that really makes it clear how it comes from both sides to trust each other and to work together. So thank you so much for that introduction. I would now like to ask Uji to present a bit her organization, her work, and her story.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope that, in my place it's evening already. So I'm trying to be as have a morning spirit as possible. Meanwhile, I will share my screen. And then if you see here already, can you see my screen already, everybody? Yeah. Okay, so I will start. I'm Uji from ViaVia Yogyakarta, as Hannah already mentioned before. And then as you see here in my presentations, actually you see in ViaVia Yogyakarta is part of the ViaVia Belgium and also the world. I joined ViaVia since 2003, so it's been like 18 years already. Exactly this March is 18 years that I work in ViaVia, so I work there since my 19 years old and until finishing also my master degree since 2014, and now I'm still working with ViaVia, especially to continue the many activities in ViaVia, whether in business sites or the social enterprise sites, and also projects and trainings. If you see here, we have resto, travel, guest house, bakery, fair trade, projects, training, yoga, studio, and also events. But then, of course, it is actually we merge, we do it together, and then because of the COVID, most of the activity we do it online. Yeah, so that's ViaVia Yogyakarta. I'm going to go for the vision and missions first. This is actually our mother visions that we also get from Belgium. So we would like to make sure that the product service and also the entrepreneurial developments guided by and committed to local wealth creations, the principle of people, planet, profit and pleasures, and with the values of ViaVia itself is the openness, respect, dialogue, and amazement. From this part, of course, we elaborate, we implement it into our activities, also in ViaVia Yogyakarta. And then the mission is to contribute in a responsible and sustainable way to dreams, needs, and expectation of travelers and local partner by enabling meaningful and memorable travel and tourism experiences at a fair price or quality ratio. As you know that ViaVia is a meeting place. So in Yogyakarta, we try to really make ViaVia as a meeting place. So we have activities, and also our target customers are everybody in Yogyakarta or in Indonesia, and then travelers, and then also expats. Meanwhile, of course, students or people who just want to hang out in ViaVia, that's always possible. So we try also to give some trainings or kind of sharing sessions at the universities in order to communicate our activities, also projects and trainings. We involve a lot of students in Yogyakarta communities, and then also the local like the organizations, and then we always mingles with everyone. Yeah, and then the policy here, of course, what we are doing of ViaVia. This one is respect values. We actually, again, we are also, that's a part of the woman empowerment in ViaVia. Most of our team are women, member team are women. Even though then our target customer is not only solo woman travelers, but the same as what Hannelore said, also Bijeta said about the many of guides or drivers or all the tourism sectors or industries, mostly the travelers only meet a man. So from ViaVia, we try as many as possible actually to give trainings on women. And then also with the humanity, of course, everybody can work in ViaVia as far as they want to learn, then that's already part of the important things. So even like with start from the elementary schools, they didn't graduate until like the highest ones. If they want to work with us, they want to together with us, we are all inclusive. And then of course we do respect the ethic, cultural, environmental, of course, yeah. And then we do also respect the differences, including like whoever they are, LGBTs community and things. Since like in Jogja or in Indonesia, here is also quite an issue in here. But then I think everybody can have the same rights. So we believe that everyone is unique. As far as they can do it professionally, it's no problem. So we are team. So we don't see their gender, their cultural backgrounds, or what's other backgrounds. But as far as we have the same missions, the same frequency, we just work and rock these tourism industries. And then of course supports local well-beings. We do a lot of work together with the peoples in the village and also in communities. As you see here, our activities of ViaVia, it can be adventures or spirituals, or only like sightseeings, or going to the plantations, or go to the forest. That's we do this all. So and it's also customized. And then before that, we always have a contact with the locals. We try to connect with them, and then we always ask permission first. And then as many as possible, we also involve the community. And then in here, we have this part of a projects also. What part of our profits, normally it will goes to the project, yeah. And then in here we did a project together with 19 street musicians from Yogyakarta. And then at that time, in order to introduce about the street arts that is connotated into the what they call vandalism. So we try to give this idea, minimize this negative idea about the street artists, yeah. So we brought we invite those street artists, and then together in the village, we ask permission to them, and then they start to paint the walls of the houses from the villager there, which is, it is still rural area, no tourists at all. And then we did this project in 2019, and then we dig all the historical, the cultural things there. And then yeah, you see it goes there with this Bagulan street art project. And then we got their hearts, the villagers especially, yeah, because normally art is only can be seen in their minds. Art is only can be seen in the gallery. It's something that it's high, or something that maybe they cannot afford it. So that's why we would like to share with them. See, even in this art, it's very close to them. We can bring it closer to them, and then even they can have a picture here, they can learn something from here. And then also, of course, it is part of our project to introduce about tourism in this area, because it's only 10 minutes from the new Yogyakarta International Airport, which is still very new. So we would like to start to share about the tourism activities itself to the community. And then if you see here, it's also still the continuity of the Bagulan Street Art Project. From this part, it is the Jatilan. So it is also local dance, normally with bamboo horses, and then they will get trends like that. Meanwhile, the Ketoprak Tobong is actually, this is one of the troops. Ketoprak is like a theater, but it's going to, it's almost gone, because now with this modernity, these troops is almost gone, and nobody care with them. Meanwhile, they are also in these people. their member, mostly they have no identity card. So they are also actually in a way, administratively, it is also not easy for them. Especially we also at the times when we have the when one of the director of this ketoprak passed away, then they got difficulty in a way to bury them where they have to bury because they have no identity cards, and it's quite long discussions until they find a place to bury the persons. And then of course with this what we do in ViaVia, we do the conservation of environment. It's also part of the planet things. We have refill my bottle program. We try to as many as possible, we do not use any more bottle plastics. And then in every tours motorized, we always plant trees. And then also we have planting trees program to the community that we already assist since 2018 also in Yogyakarta, western part of Yogyakarta. And then we plan also in part some part of our tours. We have this program because we would like to keep the biodiversity there. Since that right now in Indonesia, tourism is going to be like the our future actually, or the main activities later on after this fuels and everything is finished. So tourism in Indonesia, it's going to be crazy. So the next, this is also what we do for the capacity buildings of the communities. We have sharing sessions as a part of before trainings to the community. We try to introduce ViaVia and also its mission and visions. And then normally we also make agreement with them where they want to go for tourism itself. So if they want to make their village to be tourism or destinations or attractions, then we make a commitment, so kind of things. And then if you see here also another sharing session here, it also was the introduction of ViaVia and also about the sustainable tourism. And then they present also rice as a Thanksgiving because we have a new partner. We have worked together with ViaVia, also the local community. And then since then we give trainings on language, especially teaching. So for the local guide there, we try our best. We invite also with the universities to work together. But mainly for all those trainings and the activities, we do it by ourselves. So normally after work during afternoons, and then we separate sometimes in the weekends, and then we go to the those village or communities. Also with the self-assessments of like the for the community-based tourism. And then here also another one is every year we have trainings, intercultural communications, sustainable tourism and guiding skills for about 20 students from Yogyakarta, the ones that who study in Yogyakarta here, and mostly they come from all over Indonesia. And then so part of our mission is we want to spread the sustainable tourism spirits. So that's why we give we make annual trainings. And then here this year, last year we have a special trainings, online trainings, because it was the starting of a COVID. Also we went to the Sumba in East, in Nusa Tenggara is part of Indonesia. We also give a trainings on the guides for about 50 guides, new guide. As you know that Sumba is also a new destinations in Indonesia here. So that's why we work together with the locals there, and then we give trainings. And of course, technical trainings on the bikes, first aid, and so many things. And also in these trainings, again, we say that it is inclusive because everyone's with the multi backgrounds. We when they select or when they pass the selections, they always get full free trainings. We never ask any funds from others. So normally we do also these trainings and from our profit parts, it goes to these trainings and projects. And it's quite good. Only of course because of this pandemic. If you see here, this is the travels and also guest house team, as that actually agriculture in Indonesia is still quite huge and a lot of potential. So during this pandemic, we rent a piece of land, 2 pieces of land actually. We plant fruits and also roots, ginger, banana, and things that to still like to survive from these situations, because it is also good in a way rather than we just only wait. So we do this, and then other than that we still do online activities, either cooking class, or also sometimes we have a DIY courses and still some online trainings. So I think everyone's in the world is facing a big challenge. It is also the same in Indonesia, especially that previously worked in tourism, but then also from here we learned that we also have to have something others than tourism activity so that we can survive. So I think in Indonesia, as the main is agriculture, so here if you see women it's always multitasking. Even here that even with their kids, even when they she is also pregnant, still try to do all the domestic works and also the field works, still working in tourism, and still later on still do so many things. So I guess again, woman is always multitasking. So that's for me. Other than that, when it's already the time, especially the border opens, we always welcome you to come to ViaVia. We have resto with the our specialties is of course local and work kitchens with healthy foods, bakery with the artisan bakery, fair trade shop. We do hope that we can open again soon offline. And then of course guest house, we rent a house from the locals and then we touch up little bit, and then now we have a guest house with a nice swimming pool and also small gardens, and then of course another project things that we can collaborate. Feel free and we welcome you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's all, Hannelore. And my friends, thank you very much for the chance. The Travel Impact Alliance, ViaVia Tourism Academy, Bijeta here, and everybody here in the world. I think it's quite useful to share and to voice our voice, of course. We would like to share that we are surviving. So hopefully it's benefit to everyone. Thank you very much, Hannah. The floor is yours now. Yeah.
Thank you, Uji. Yes, we also have in the chat here that it's a great point that you make, that tourism should never be the only local economic activity. We have seen this also with the pandemic, that many destinations are completely dependent on tourism, which is not a healthy system. and this is not something we want to replicate. So I think we had with the two ladies, both of them. I hope Bijeta is still here. I can't see her, but I think she is. Yes, she is still here. To really get an idea of what these kind of women-led social enterprises can look like. I think we learned a lot. Also, when you're a traveler, sometimes you don't have an idea what's behind everything, how the finances are arranged, and what you are investing in, and what kind of opportunities people get by working there. But this is the main point we want to make today, that with your tourism dollars or euros, the choices that you make, if you choose for companies like the ones we've presented here today that are led by women and give women opportunities to work there in Sasane, mostly as trekking guides, in ViaVia as managers, also as guides. Also, I know you work with a lot of female or LGBTI plus artists. So it's just about giving people opportunities. And if you choose for these kind of companies, you really can contribute to this development. And you've seen the whole total of everything that they do. So we have a few more questions here. For Bijeta, if the human trafficking situation is now less or more due to the pandemic, since given that women work the land as well, there's a need to keep encouraging them to look at organic farming methods so that they can get more out of their produce. Maud is sharing that with us. So how is the situation now with the trafficking? If you can just briefly answer, because we almost have to end our session.
Well, it's since the border is restricted, the restrictions are high. I don't think I don't know the data yet because of the pandemic here. I don't know the actual data, but most of the sisters are in their rural village right now because they don't have work here in Kathmandu, and most of them, some of them are still working with us. Uh, but those who were working as a freelancer guides with us, they are working in their villages right now. So as usually say, they're involved in farming and agriculture. Most of them are involved in agriculture right now. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for that
Thank you for the
insight,
question.
So to wrap up, before we go back to Megan, to end, I want to ask both of you to say like the one thing that tourists can do to be an ally for women, to support women through tourism. What is the one thing that they should do when we all get to travel again? Fuji?
Okay, so I think through tourism, actually it is multidisciplines, and then women really have their stage for this tourism. Actually, it can be not only the tourist attraction itself, but then with the local communities, with these inclusive communities, also with everybody who involved in this our organizations. It can help the women to get their rights, also positive discriminations against, that we would not only actually that women, but we would like to have the equal chance, especially working in tourism, that women always can be a leaders also, not only in these second or third layers. Yeah.
Yes. So give opportunities to female leadership and celebrate them and contribute to them by choosing for them. Yeah. Bijeta, what's the one tip you want to give our travelers here?
I think we would love to receive more of women solo travelers. because we didn't get to travel with women really, because we don't have so much of women traveler. And we're looking forward, if this COVID crisis ends, and to start off our business again, to meet new volunteers, new faces, and we just hope we can sustain this crisis and keep supporting our sisters in any way we can. Uh, so our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. And thank you for the event. It was really lovely talking to you, to get to know you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bijeta, and thank you to end with those wise words. So I heard a call from both Indonesia and Nepal for especially for women to go travel once we can, and to meet women and to connect with everyone from around the world. So thank you both for your stories today, and I think Megan will end our session here today.
I just wanted to jump in really quick. You guys, ladies, are doing amazing work, and it was just a really wonderful way for me to start my day, inspiring to see everything that you're doing. So thank you for sharing all of this important information with us. And I just want to thank everyone who was able to join us. I know we're running a few minutes over. So I just am quickly going to put our a link to our kind of last event in this month-long series that we've been focusing on women's empowerment. And if you're interested in checking it out, it's a partner event with Wonderful, and it should be, in the chat now. So if you want to check that out, it's a great kind of networking session on Icebreaker. It's a different platform, not Zoom, if you're tired of Zoom. But with that, actually, I'm going to leave it with you, Hannelore. If you have any last words to say, and again, just a thank you to all of you ladies.
Thank you, Megan. It's been really my honor to host this event, and I think it's very special. At least one of the things that we can take from this pandemic is that we are now working together on 3 continents in all these different time zones to make something like this happen. And as we've seen in the chat, so many people from around the world joining. So I would say let's keep connecting with each other. I will also be at the next event, Megan, that you mentioned. Let's just keep finding each other as women, as travelers, as travel professionals. And I think that way we can make the world a little bit of a better place.
Better place. Yeah.
So
Okay.
thank you.